My name is Michelle, and I am your emotional resilience coach. I am so excited to have you here with me today while I discuss ways and tools and means, as I do in all my videos, that can help you be the best version of yourself. If this is something you're excited about, if this is something you're looking forward to, if you want to take your power back in life and no longer be a victim in your own story, stick with me. I am going to show you how I went from being sick, burnt out, spinning, confused, emotional, highly triggered, reacting to everything in life instead of responding, to having a good relationship with myself, a great relationship with those around me, and to no longer be the victim in my own story. So today what I want to chat to you about is one of the side effects of complex PTSD. Now, complex PTSD has so much to it, and this is just a really small part that I'm going to cover today. But this was something that I felt I really wanted to speak to because it was something that is near and dear to me. It is something that I have struggled with myself through time. And what that is that we are really, really hard with ourselves. If you have complex PTSD, you come from a traumatic background, you're most likely a codependent, you don't have a good sense of self, and because you don't have a good sense of self, you have a very poor relationship with you. You are hard on yourself, most likely hard as nails. You've probably taken on a parent who is really difficult, who is very domineering, who is perhaps a bully in your life, or at least was a bully in your life, and you have made them your inner critic. They have become part and parcel of that inner tape in your head that plays over and over again about how you should be better, what you should do, what that looks like, without you actually being able to have the space to figure that out for yourself. So you have very low, if any, self-esteem, self-worth, self-understanding. You understand these concepts intellectually, maybe, you can read about them and go, oh, okay, that's what that looks like, but you don't really understand what that looks like in application. And this is going to be really hard and foreign for you. And perhaps you need to be really, really, really patient with yourself here, because this is going to be a new way of being, a new way of living. And that is learning to not white knuckle through life, not to use willpower and grit and push through, kind of feeling like you're just always pushing against the current, going against the tide. It's why we always feel so utterly exhausted. To stop doing that and to learn to listen to ourselves, build a relationship with ourselves. We don't want to do and be in life what other people want us to do or be. We want to figure out our own happiness, our own joys, our own passions, our own motivations. And by doing that, we need to get to know who we are. We need to figure out what makes us tick, right? We need to learn to spend some time with ourselves so that we can know what it is that we want and not what other people want for us. I think so often in life, a person who suffers from complex PTSD is that we kind of do what other people want us to do. We be who other people want us to be. We don't have our own true north. We don't really know what it is that we want out of life. So we kind of borrow from other people because we were always told that if we were anything other than what that critical, domineering parent needed us to be, then we weren't good enough. So the solution is to figure out who we need to be for ourselves. And the start of this journey is going to seem really overwhelming, and it is going to seem really complicated. And we're going to feel, where do we even start? And we just start with spending some time with ourselves, getting to know ourselves. Ask yourself questions that you would ask anybody that you want to know. If you want to know about somebody and you want to figure out a little bit more about them, you can ask them questions. Tell me about yourself. What do you love? What are your interests? What are the things that like get you excited about life? All right, this was something that I, for a very, very long time, didn't know how to do. I didn't know how to get excited about things because I wasn't even sure what made me excited. I just felt this pull all the time to just be what they say. And this goes back to your codependent and your fawn. If I be what they want me to do and be, all right, now think again of your inner critic, then that means I'm going to get approval. And then that means I'm going to be okay. And then that means I'm worthy. And that means I'm enough. And we are already enough, all right? Your value is already absolute. That is not up for question. But the thing here is that you've got to know this. You've got to understand this. One of the things that I did for years and years and years, and I was very misguided, I thought that this was the way to be. And I suppose in some ways it did help me and it did give me a little bit of what I wanted. But in other areas, it blindsided me. And that is, I went through life saying, well, I know what I don't want, all right? I don't want a relationship like my mom and my stepfather had. I don't want a marriage like that. I don't want to always be depressed and crying and lying in my bed. I knew what I didn't want. I could say to you, that's what I don't want. And I felt that that was enough. But I hadn't taken the time out to spend with me and ask me, what do you want? I never took that next step. And what happens is, how it worked for me is that I was able to achieve a lot of that. How it blindsided me is that I didn't have enough focus on what I do want, that when some relationships that happened and came into my life came along and put me in a tailspin, was because I was not focused on enough what I do want, what I will accept, what I am happy with. Things like boundaries and self-esteem and self-love and self-worth, and this knowledge of this is how I want a relationship to look. This is how I want this to look. This is how I need that to look, whatever that may be. I didn't have enough focus on that. And I'm not saying that we want to get lost on that focus, because we really do. We want to be gentle with ourselves. We want to just be softer with ourselves and allow room for growth and allow room for change and allow room for exploration. But the more we focus on what we do want, the more we grow and develop into who we want to be, because we're taking our focus off what we don't want. It's good to know and acknowledge and see it, but then you want to shift your focus, because if you're always looking at and always putting your energy in, I don't want this, I can't have this can't happen in my life, I don't need this, you might succeed as I did in achieving it in some areas of your life, but the chances are, because that's where your focus is, it's going to come out in other areas of your life. And this is just a side effect of complex PTSD, of listening to that inner critic all the time. Remember, the bullying, manipulative, emotionally manipulative parent, the hard to please parent, is the one that is in your mind and is the inner critic who is so hard on you. You're carrying that tape with you by being so incredibly hard on yourself. And by living this way, you're not allowing yourself to be creative, to be expressive, to be explorative, as you should have been as a child, to figure out what it is you do want in life. And the exciting thing is that you have this opportunity to do it now. It is never too late to spend time with you, to just get to know you, try new things, go into different avenues, discover what it is that makes you deeply passionate. What makes me deeply passionate, what makes me really, really excited and really happy, is to take these tools that I've learned and to teach them to you. And for you, it could be anything. Take some time, figure out, ask yourself the same questions you would ask somebody that you love, and you're getting to know what makes you tick, what makes you passionate, what gets you fired up. Discover you. Build that friendship with you. You're not losing anything. You're gaining you. So if any of this resonated with you, please Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If there is somebody that you feel they need to hear this, share it with them. Have a fantastic day.